When it comes to commercial properties, Century 21 Durden Carnegie has you covered. If you're looking for commercial property, have a look at this property at 1908 Bellevue Road in Dublin, listed at $125. This property has over 1,600 square feet, is located in the city of Dublin, and is ready for you to occupy today. So if you're looking for commercial property, see this property at 1908 Bellevue Road in Dublin. Listing agent is Pam Tillery. For commercial property, count on Century 21. See the property at 2626 Moore Station Road, listed at $995. This property has over 5,000 square feet. And listing agent and broker George Durden will be glad to show you this property today. If you're looking for commercial property, call on the professionals at Century 21 Durden Carnegie. The phone number is 272-1535. Log on to c21dublin.com and contact Century 21 Durden Carnegie today about any of these commercial properties. Century 21 Durden Carnegie, broker George Durden. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, out to West Lawrence High School here in the weight room with head coach Kagan McLean. And we're going to talk a little football, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's getting ready for football.
Oh, yeah.
Summer workouts they've been a grind, haven't they?
Oh, yeah. It's that time of year when everybody's kind of hitting the ground running.
Yeah.
We've been in here since the second week in June. We usually take that first week in June off to give everybody a chance to get on vacation, get a little break from school before we get out here and get going. And we rolled through the rest of June. Everybody's off that first week in July with the dead week.
Yeah.
And once you come back from that dead week, man, it's hit the ground running. So we've been getting after it.
Yeah, so this is it. I mean, you pretty much in the stretch here where you got to make everything work. You working 7-on-7s a lot.
Yeah, doing a lot of that. Padded camps, that's a new thing they've allowed the last couple of years, is you can do 2 padded camps in the summer, and we did 1 this summer. I didn't do 2 just because I wanted to try them out. Never been to one. Kind of a little nervous about getting somebody hurt or something like that, but it was really well run over at Bleckley County. With Coach Laster, did a good job. We went over there and got a lot of work done, and really enjoyed that. It was good for our kids. So
Tell
that's
me about
something.
the padded camp.
It's kind of like, it's like a 7-on-7 deal, except you're 11-on-11, and you're allowed to wear helmets and shoulder pads. Can't wear anything below the waist, no pants, no girdles, anything like that. But you can actually thump and fit up and thud up, and not all just the run around touching people. Yeah. Which defensively I like a lot better. All that run around touching people make you soft. But getting over there and actually getting to hit people and thud them up and be physical, I like that. That was a lot better. I enjoyed it. It's good work. I definitely want to do a couple of those next year.
Yeah, of course, people spin back out there, older guys like I am and older. They talk about how you did 2 and 3 a day during the summer, full pads, and it's a lot softer. And it does make a difference.
Right.
Because if you get used to running up and touching, you practice that way, and then you go into that window.
That's
right. You go into that window, you got to step it way up and start the full contact.
Well, the rules have kind of changed a little bit. I remember when I first started coaching, down in Cairo, we were 3-a-days. We had, camp for a week, 3-a-day practices, and we're out there knocking each other around. And the rules have kind of prohibit that now, and I understand it's about safety. You want to keep kids safe. I completely agree with that. Yeah. So we've had to kind of adjust the way we do things, but you can still get some good work done in the summer. You got to be smart about the heat now. That's a big deal. We always have the wet bulbs out there, and we got certain regulations. It gets too hot, and we got to take some things off or get inside or do some different things, and that's fine. I understand it. Number one, for every coach, they want their kids to be safe. But at the same time, you got to balance that out with, man, we need to get on the field and get some work done.
You got to get better.
So it's a fine line, but I think the rules are fair. I think they're good. I think, when you follow them and do things the right way, you'll be okay.
Well, talking about rules, each year we see a few changes. Are there any changes from officials this year? Any blocking changes?
Nothing major that I know of right off the top of my head. A lot of times you don't really get into a lot of that. You get to your rules clinic and they say, hey, here are the points of emphasis that we're really going to look at. I hadn't seen anything that I think is going to affect the game from last year at all. Yeah. I think it's pretty much going to be the same with that. But every year they tweak things here. They're trying to make it better, trying to make it safer. But I think it's going to be pretty same as last year for this
Yeah,
year.
yeah. You know, when they took away that blind side
Right,
of that,
yep.
you know, man down the field that can't get hit, you know, from an inopportune way, I guess you should say
Right,
that
yep.
it's just going to clean his clock. You know, that used to be football, but
Yeah.
I guess we learned that injuries, obviously injuries going to happen from,
Yeah, well,
from things
anything.
like that.
I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, like I said, safety is the most important thing, and you know, we want parents to understand that we're all about kids' safety. We all played football coming up, you know, and we want to keep those kids safe. And I understand the rules are there to keep them safe. But sometimes, though, some things kind of get blown out of proportion. You know, you get on ESPN and they're always talking about concussions and this
Right.
and that. And when you look at all the studies, I mean, the top sports for concussions are cheerleading and girls soccer.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, football's down the list on that.
Yeah.
But because it's such a contact sport, it's a very masculine sport. A lot of times it gets a bad rap, and
gets
it
the
takes
blunt of it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you know, I've been doing this 7 years here, and I remember maybe 2 kids in 7 years where they said, "Hey, he's got a concussion, he needs to be out." So it's a very, very rare thing with all the technology, with the helmets, with the rules,
Right.
the way we teach tackling now.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that's extreme. You have a better chance of getting in a car wreck on the way home than you do getting a concussion football practice.
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest with you.
because you're not leading with your head. Like
There
you say,
you
you
go.
got the
That's
right
right.
headgear now.
That's right.
That's improved dramatically over the years.
Yeah, the technology's definitely gotten a lot better.
Yeah. So back on 7-on-7, Coach, you have opportunity to put your receivers out there. So let's talk about who the 3 or 4 receivers are you're going to have.
Yeah, we've got the good news this year is I feel like we are deeper at receiver than we've been probably since I've been here.
Awesome.
We've got 4 or 5 guys that I think are really going to stand out and be able to catch the ball for us. You got E.J. Holmes and McKinley Kemp coming back, 2 guys that we definitely want to get the ball to. Trent Carr also returning out there. He's a guy we want to get the ball to. Brent Carr is coming out and playing this year. He played as a freshman, didn't play last year. He's a really good wrestler. Came back, had a couple injuries his sophomore year with wrestling, so he didn't play football. He's come back out this year really wanting to play. Been in the weight room getting after it all year, and he has done an outstanding job out there. And I feel like he will definitely be one of our top 3 or 4 guys that we're going to throw the ball to. Tall, very, very athletic kid. A very coachable young man. So, you know, we've enjoyed having him out there. And then we got some young guys, some height. You know, we talk about Caleb Appleby, he's going to be a sophomore next year. You know, he's 6'4", 6'5" out there. We got Tyler Franks, who's also going to be a sophomore. You know, he's up there real tall like that as well. Dre Wadley, who's going to be a senior, he's come on this summer, and he's about 6'4", 6'5" out there as well. So we've got 3 or 4 guys that really got height. If they can learn to control that body and get up and use that body and pull some balls down, you know, they could definitely be threats out there as well.
Okay, so who you got specifically coaching them this year?
Stephen Edwards is our wide receivers coach. He came in, took over for Ben Bailey. Ben Bailey took a job at Lee County. You know, it was a good promotion for him. A little closer to home for him too, so you know we hate to see him go. But Stephen Edwards has come in. He played at Gainesville High School. He's coming from Hart County, and he's been coaching receivers for us, doing an outstanding job and learning those kids. And he's got some guys to work with, so it's been good this summer for him.
Yeah, that's real encouraging.
Yes, sir.
Of course, you know, we look at the quarterback and we see AJ there. Now, what's been the story over the summer, and how's his development been?
It's been great. You know, AJ kind of got thrown in the fire a little bit as a freshman when he was out there. Had to kind of just shoulder the load last year. A lot of people don't realize he was a sophomore who didn't have hardly any varsity experience last year, and you could see as the year went on, he got better and better. You know, by the time we got to region play, he was really doing a great job for us, and he's just been on point all summer, staying in the pocket, making good decisions, delivering the football, knowing his limitations. He's not going to throw it 70 yards, you know, but he's going to sit in there and read defenses and pick them apart, and he's done a great job this summer. And we're going to have to rely on him more. You know, we're a little small on the offensive line this year. Got great kids up there, 5 kids who will tough in the weight room, will get after it. But we don't have those 300-pounders, you know. And so they're going to have to stay low, have great technique and work. And we're going to rely on AJ, I think, to have to deliver the ball a little more this year offensively for us. And I think he can do it. I think he's ready to do it.
Yeah, maybe being a little more agile.
Yes.
You know, he got that way toward the end of the year.
Oh,
You
yeah.
were saying he developed well when it wasn't there. He'd pick you up a first down or at least get you yardage.
He's definitely a run threat. There's no doubt. People look at him and don't see that. But, you know, he can run a 4.6 40. You know, makes great decisions on the reads. I think definitely, you know, people are always like, well, you don't want to get your quarterback hurt. Well, you know, get what you can get and get down. But, you know, if it's there, we need to take it.
Right.
And I think AJ can definitely do that for us.
Okay, so we talked about, we hadn't said running back.
All right. Yeah, we got a couple guys. You know, Dorian Edmond is back from last year.
Right.
He got most of the carries for us last season. Jesse Jones, who came on and carried the ball at the end of the year in the playoffs for us, he'll be back. Keith Edwards is another guy. He's the fastest kid on the team. He was the 100-meter guy for us on the track team. He'll be out there running some tailback this year. He played more in the secondary last year. We moved him to tailback to give us some speed and depth over there. We've had another kid that is that's coming in from Dodge County that I think can help us. Now, you know, with the move and stuff, he may be JV, but he's come out and just started practicing the last couple of days, and I think he's going to be a good player for us in the future. Got some young kids, Lorenzo Turner, young kid, Shante Burney, that can both, we can put the ball in their hands and they can run. We don't have that one back that I think, hey, he's going to tote it 25 times a game and shelve the load for us, but I think that we've got several guys we can get the ball to in different ways and be successful running the football, because, you know, you got to run the football to be successful. You got to play defense, you got to run the football no matter what. You can be a passing team, but passing team still got to play D and run the football if they're going to win. Yeah. And we definitely want to do that first if possible.
Yeah. All right, so Coach, you're looking at a date coming up on the last date at the end of this month, I guess, for transfer. Beyond that, you know, there's no more transfer and eligibility. So do you see any more coming, or do you have any more that are already here?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't, you know, we don't get a lot of kids that move in or move out generally around here.
Right.
They kind of stay where they are.
Sure.
But, you know, when a kid moves, according to GHSA, if they have a bona fide move, if they leave one system and move to another district, they're eligible right then, no matter what time of the year it happens. As long as they have a bona fide move.
Okay.
You know, they don't punish kids for parents who have to move for jobs or whatever. So that is one way. You know, if it's not a move, if they're changing systems, then they are athletically ineligible for one calendar year. So, but generally we don't have to deal with that a lot. Up around Atlanta, you get a lot of that going on.
Sure.
You know,
but
South
we always
Georgia.
hope for one or two to come in.
Oh, I'd love for a lot of kids to move to. Hey, West Lawrence is a great place to live. I'd love to have some. You know, no, I'm just kidding. But you know, we got. I love the kids we've got. They work hard. They're great kids.
Sure. But any good athlete wants somebody else that's just as good or better.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's just the way good athletes are. You don't worry about your position being taken. You hope somebody comes in and gives you some help.
I tell you what, man, you got a lot of good tools in the toolbox. You can do the job a little easier.
Yeah, and you want to win.
That's right, absolutely.
Yeah. So let's move it on up here and talk about the offensive line. You got Baker back. You got the Butler boys back with experience. Who else is on there with a little experience?
Evan Owens is back. He was a sophomore last year. He played pretty much every game last year. As a 10th grader, he'll be an 11th grader. The fifth and final spot will be, we got several guys vying for that right now. We got James Jardon, who's a young kid who was a 10th grader last year who we think could do it. Samuel Parada, another kid that was a 10th grader last year that we think could step in and get it done this year. You know, several guys in there kind of fighting for that last slot. And really, we've got about 7 linemen total. You know, you mentioned Jalen Baker, Miguel Butler, Matthew Butler. We got several guys that we think are we got about 7 that I feel confident that we could roll in or out, and they're going to go in there and they're going to work hard and get it done. You know, like we were talking about earlier, we're not huge on the O-line this year. We don't have those 300-pounders like we had last year bookending the O-line. But I feel like we've got 5 kids who really bust it in the weight room. They're scrappy. They're going to get after it. They're coachable. And if we can just get their technique cleaned up and get them doing things the right way, I feel like they can be very successful. Yeah, we will take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. Come back talking to Coach Kagan McLean here at West Lawrence. So stay tuned.
At Morris Bank, we understand that your personal finances and banking experiences can be stressful. We also know that it doesn't have to be that way. That's why for over 60 years, we've dedicated ourselves to providing common sense banking to people just like you.
Even when I started working here, there was a definite vibe that you felt when you walked in the door, from the music that you're always going to hear playing to the hello, good to see you, welcome, how can we help you? You know, it's just a different experience when you bank here.
We work hard to combine the latest online mobile technology and top-notch customer service that allows us to do just that.
We realize our customers have choices, but what sets us apart is the personal service that we provide that they may not receive at larger institutions. We like to make you feel at home, and we like to make the process as easy as possible when you're banking with us.
But we're not focused on helping just our customers. We are equally dedicated to supporting the community we are a part of. Just this year alone, we've logged thousands of community service hours and provided significant financial support to the communities we serve.
Something that sets us apart at Morris Bank is what we give back to the communities in which we serve. And as the communities continue to grow, that brings more business and more industry into the area, and it's just this circle effect of giving back and receiving what the community can offer.
We want to make sure you have the best banking experience possible. Come see us or give us a call to find out what makes Morris Bank different, because we're banking on you.
All right, back with you out at West Lawrence High School in this great weight room. Let's just point out, Coach, that you got a lot of new weightlifting equipment.
Yeah, our school system was very blessed us by letting us order 10 new racks, and we took the old racks and we put those down at the middle school because the middle school was severely lacking in weight training equipment. And really, you know, if you want to run a program the right way, by the time they get into 7th grade, they need to start lifting, and not just lifting with some garbage equipment. They need some decent stuff. So we took 8 of our old racks, sent them down to the middle school. They're setting up the powerhouse down there, so they're going to have their own weight room now and have everything going nice for them. Get those guys lifting. What I would love is for in 6th grade, to them to start getting in maybe that second semester, start learning technique and form, and that's it. And as we get into 7th grade, let's get the weights on there and start going, and by 8th grade, cleaning things up. So when they come to me in 9th grade, we're working on building speed and power, speed and power, speed and power. And we're not having to deal with technique and form and all those things. And we got Coach Vic Thigpen down at the middle school doing a great job of that weight program, working those kids. Head middle school football coach doing an outstanding job and getting them ready and sending them out. I'll tell you, the 9th graders we've had come in this year have been exceptionally well prepared for the weight room. Awesome. And that showed because, you know, we went and we're able to do some things at the state weightlifting meet this year with several 9th graders on the team. You know, in fact, one of our 9th graders won his class. You know, so we, you know, that's a testament to what they're doing down there. But obviously, he has not had the equipment or the facilities necessary to do it the right way. So you know, they put in and bought us 10 new racks. We sent our old ones down there, and we're just trying to get a little trickle down going and getting things done.
Like you say, that's the future. That's
Absolutely.
the future of your
Absolutely.
program. So in looking at that, we're talking about offensive linemen before we took the break.
Yes,
have you seen those big gains on them?
Yeah, I think that they really have strength-wise, you know, I feel really confident in a lot of our guys. I mean, our D-line's not going to be very big either, but I got 3 kids on the D-line that can all power clean 300 or better. Never had that since I've been here, not with all 3 of them.
Come on.
So that's the strongest D-line we've ever had coming up this year. Now, they're all about 5'9", you know, and just get after it.
Yeah.
But they're strong and they're stocky and they can move a little bit. So we may be a little, you know, we don't have those big pluggers we've had in the past up at that front 3. But I think we got some guys that can move and get in there and run some people down and make some plays. And we may have to adjust a little bit what we do. I'm a firm believer in, you know, I don't need to be stubborn. I need to look at what I got, and I need to adjust what I do to put those kids in the best possible position to make plays. And then if they're in position to make play and they don't, then we just need to keep repping that. But if I'm asking them to do something that they physically can't do, then I'm being an idiot as a coach. You know?
Yeah.
So
that's what a coach does. You know, I made that statement before, if you don't mind, right here. I said, you know, that when you keep running, you say, well, it's there. The offensive or the defense lines up here, and the offense is doing this, or vice versa. But if you don't have the personnel,
that's right.
You can put it on paper all day long.
Right. People talk about, well, you know, why don't you get there in the eye and run the ball 40 times a game? Well, if we don't have the kids to do that, then that's not smart, you know. But I think that we've got a good quarterback. I think that we've got a small but coachable offensive line. I think we got some good skill at receivers. I think we got a really strong D-line and some young but smart linebackers. I think we've got 2 athletes at corner that can do some things. So I think that we may be a little more finesse this year than we have in the past, but I think that's what we're going to need to do. But, you know, defensive, of course, we're going to keep preaching, be physical, you know, pound people, swarm to the football and do the things that we're known for doing, you know, playing Raider defense. But I think that even though we're going to be young, even though we graduated some guys, I think there's some pieces there for us to continue to be successful.
Yeah, it happens every year, Coach.
Absolutely.
They graduate every year, and you got to fill them. I mean, that's just part of it. And like you say, you can't go out and get people coming in, so you work with what you have, and you hope that the kids really grow. So, again, let's talk about the linebackers just for a moment. Now, you know, you got Jackson there. He's just, I mean.
Yeah, De'Aaron Jackson's going to be a junior next year. You know, De'Aaron's about 6'2", and he got up to about 250. So he's a big, thick, strong kid who can move a little bit. A lot of colleges are looking at him, a lot of D1 schools. I think he's definitely got a future playing this game. He'll be anchoring the inside linebacker for us. You know, we graduated Dorian Gorham, one of the big leaders on our team, one of our most physical kids. We got some young kids that are going to replace him. Bradley Wilson is a sophomore, potentially there. Devontae Royals, who's going to be a junior, has come on and had a fantastic spring and summer, and I have no problem at all putting Devontae out there if he's the guy. You know, got a couple guys at outside. Trent Carr's coming back at outside linebacker. Our other outside linebacker transferred, but then we had another kid transfer in. So I think we've got several pieces. Daniel Lindo came in from Trinity. think he could do it. Xavier Lewis coming out and playing for us this year. I think he could definitely do it. He didn't play last year either. Played his freshman year. We got him back out this year. Definitely could get the job done. Dre Bonner, kid that's going to be a junior that's been with us for the last couple of years, can get it done. I think we may be outside linebacker by committee on that one side, but that breeds competition, and I think that'll keep those guys hungry. And whoever's got the hot hand, we'll go with.
Yeah, that's real healthy. Now let's talk about that youth on the inside, because you know that's obviously you need the meat inside.
Right.
But inside linebacker, you got one. What's the weight on the other two?
Not what it needs to be. You know, if you want to know the truth,
Yeah.
we're going to be smaller at that other inside backup. We're going to be much faster and more athletic. So we're going to kind of do some things with our scheme to put them in a position where their speed can pay off. You know, Bradley Wilson's about a 180-pound kid in there at linebacker, but he's a tough kid. Devontae Royals is about 175, but can fly and is physical, not afraid to hit. So you know, if you get a kid in there that's smart, that can move, and that's not scared to hit, I don't care how big he is. We can make him successful by getting him in the right spot. Exactly. I'd rather have that than have a big plugger that can't move. The game's changed. You know, everybody's spread. The game is played sideline to sideline. It's not played in a box anymore. And you got to have guys that can move. So I feel like even though they'll be smaller, won't be near as big at inside linebackers we were last year, I think that we've got some kids that can move around and get it done. So I feel okay about that. All
right. We'll take another short break and be right back. We're talking to Coach Kagan McLean out at West Lawrence, so you stay with us.
Hey, Brad, you're working on a song about planning for retirement, right?
Yeah.
I wrote you some lyrics.
You're writing now? Here's a man like you and me, retired after 18 years at QB. Kind of seems like it might be about you.
Which part?
All of it?
It's about retirement planning. I don't see it, Brad.
Nationwide is on your side.
All right, welcome you back, ladies and gentlemen. And Coach, during the summertime, you look for that kid that really grows. You look for that kid that gets stronger. You look for the one that gets faster. All of a sudden, you're looking at a surprise. Have you got a couple of those you really want to say is, you know, right at the...
Yeah, one of the ones, you know, we talked a little bit about before the break was Devontae Royals, the inside linebacker. He really came out of nowhere. He was a JV linebacker last year for us. And, you know, honestly, just looking at him, I wouldn't have thought that he would ever going to really develop into a key Friday night player. But he really busted his tail in the weight room. I remember I came up here one weekend to do some work, and he's out at the track, running around the track. I mean, he was a hungry kid that really wanted it. And he played most of the reps in the spring game at inside linebacker and has just done an outstanding job. And really, you know, every year it's like that. We always look and say, man, we're graduating this guy and that guy, and we got nobody to fill that spot. And then somebody just pops up out of nowhere. You know, the Butler boys, another kids. I remember when they first came in the weight room a couple years ago, as their sophomore years wanting to play football. And I remember thinking those kids will never play football. And, man, have they proved me wrong. They have gotten big and strong, and both of them will probably be starting for us on the line this year. And not because we're you know, we've got to have them, but because they've earned it. You know, they've done a great job.
They've worked hard.
They've worked hard, and they've been huge surprises for us. So I think those guys definitely have been revelations. And then Brent Carr coming back out this year. He was a good kid as a freshman, but, you know, was an average player. Has really come out and been arguably one of our best receivers this summer. And so I think that he could definitely, he's been a great surprise for us.
Yeah, like him, the kids who hit a growth spurt.
Yeah, right.
You know, they're good athletes, but, you know, they hit that growth spurt, or it just clicks, something clicks.
Well, you know, testosterone don't hit everybody at the same time. Some of them are a little late bloomers. But we like it when it hits, you know, definitely.
Yeah, good point. All right, so what's left for you now? You talk about 7-on-7. You got a few more of those.
Right, yep.
What's going on?
We've got this Thursday, we have a couple teams coming over, and we like to do the smaller, you know, we'll get 2 or 3 teams together and we'll work on just getting better. You know, a lot of teams like to go off to these big ones in Atlanta and all these places and compete against 50 teams, and that stuff's great for competition, but that turns into trying to win the drill more than getting better at what you need to get better at. You know, I've been on teams where in the summer we'd go to 7-on-7s and not lose a 7-on-7 all summer and go 2-8, you know, because we weren't tough or we weren't physical. I remember that early in my career, and that kind of made an impression on me. And I said, you know, if I ever get to the spot where I'm doing this, I'm going to be physical, we're going to be mentally tough, we're going to do things the right way, and if we don't win a 7-on-7 all summer, I don't care. But when you put the pads on, we're going to hit you in the mouth, and we're going to swarm to the football, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may. And I feel like that it's better for us to go to the smaller ones and get some smaller teams to come in and say, hey, let's get 3 or 4 teams together and let's work together. Whatever you need, whatever I need, let's get better. If you need to see a play again, we'll run it again.
Yeah.
If you need to see a coverage again, we'll do it again. And let's just iron sharpens iron, and let's get better for the season. And we do a lot of that with Dodge County, even though we play Dodge on the schedule. You know, Rex Hodges does a great job down there at Dodge, and we get with him, and they come to our place, we go to their place, and we work and we make each other better. And then for one Friday night in the fall, we get after each other. But it's good to have teams like that, 'cause you know they're going to be well coached, they're going to be disciplined, they're going to be physical, do things the right way, and those are the type of teams that you want to kind of go against and get better. So we've got a Thursday, we got Dodge and Sly County coming over, and we're going to work and make each other better. We're going to go over to Trinity. They're having an FCA 7-on-7 next Tuesday, so we're going to go over there and throw with those guys and get better and get some positive message, you know, spoken into the lives of those young men over there. And then after that, it's the mandatory 5 days, and we're putting pads on. So, you know, we'll be rolling. Scrimmage will be here before you know it.
How many kids you got out this year, Coach?
You know, it fluctuates in the summers because you're trying to figure out who's really wanting to play football and who's just trying this thing out, especially those young kids. But I think we'll have about 90, between 90 and 100, which is about what we normally have. We usually start between 90 and 100, and it ends up, you know, 75, 80 by the end because football's tough. It's hard. It's not for everybody. It's out in the sun, and we're out there banging on each other every day.
But you need to know that, Coach.
We need to know that. I promise you.
Who wants that grind? Who wants to work through the rough part of it when it's not so fun? It's not really fun at all.
I look at football kind of like church. You know, numbers aren't really that important. It's how many are committed. You know, you can have a church with 1,000 people. If you got 100 of them that are committed and then 900 that are playing church, well, you know, you're just filling seats.
Yeah.
Same thing on the football team. You know, I don't care I'd rather have 75 kids who will get after it and run through that wall for me than have 125 and a bunch of them on the sideline not really wanting to do anything, just wanting to be a part of the team.
Yeah.
So we make it hard. We make our program tough on purpose. You know, we weed a lot of kids out just by saying you got to be in weightlifting. If you don't lift weights, you ain't playing football. I don't care what. That weeds a lot of those kids
Then
out.
when you get them in here.
And you get them in here and you bust their tail, that weeds some more of them out.
Yeah.
And then summers will weed some more of them out. But right now we're holding steady, a little over 90. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
If that holds on.
All right, Coach, so, you know, a little bit of time left, and you're looking at, you got all your spots filled as far as coaching, so we want to talk about who your team is. You know, you mentioned wide receiver coach coming in. Do you have anybody else that's new, anybody that's transferred or what have you?
Yeah, we've got a couple guys. I mentioned Stephen Edwards coming in coaching wide receivers. Harrison Parker is a young coach who's coming to us from Trinity. Wants to get into the school system and teach and coach. He was a community coach over there.
Yeah.
And he's helping us with D-line right now. Coach Rogers, Tyler Rogers, our D-line coach, and Coach Parker's just down there learning and helping. He'll do some 9th grade for us, and he has been a hard-working, great addition to our staff. Eddie Floyd has come over from East Lawrence. He was the head middle school coach and athletic director at East Lawrence. He's coming over, and he's helping me coach defensive backs. You know, I've been the head coach, the strength coach, the D coordinator, and the defensive backs coach. So I'm trying to learn to let some of those things go. So I brought in Eddie, and I'm starting to gradually turn over the secondary to him, and he's helping do more of that. So he's been new with us as well. You know, we got a lot of the same guys back. Coach Respert's still offensive coordinator. Coach Lawhorn, Dwayne Gibson are offensive line coaches for us. Von Merkstrom's coaching running backs with us. Whitney Alligood is our co-defensive coordinator and our inside linebackers coach. I still call the D on Friday night, but he does a lot of the work and a lot of the preparation, and we kind of do that together. But he's been a huge asset to our staff ever since he's been here. Rod Waits is our outside linebackers coach, and then me and Coach Floyd doing the secondary with Tyler Rogers and Coach Parker doing the D-line.
Yeah. And who will be helping out again now with the 9th grade?
Coach Parker, the new guy we brought in, and probably Coach Floyd will help a little bit with the 9th grade also as he's learning the defense. And then on the offensive side, we'll have to split staff because we are one coach down this year. So we will either have Coach Edwards or Coach Merkstrom go with those 9th graders on Thursday and call offense, and the other one will stay back here with JV. It's gotten a lot better. Our coaching numbers have gotten better. We're still a couple coaches short of what we really need to be for a Quad A program, but our administration does everything they can to work with us and to give us what we need. But sometimes in this profession, it comes down to teaching slots, you know, because that coaching supplement is a tiny part of your salary.
Yeah.
That teaching salary is your job, and so you got to have teaching slots, and you got to get quality teachers in that want to coach. If you're a coach and you're not a good teacher, well, you know, it's hard to get you a job here. So you need to be able to do both, and sometimes it comes down to that. But we're working on it. Again, great administration, always giving us what we need, and whenever there's an opening, we try to get a coach in there if we need one. And so it's been good.
Coach, and wrapping it up, I want to remind everybody that the Booster Club has already sent out information. But if you haven't gotten that information, if you'd like it, and you can get in touch with Coach or get in touch with the school, they'll put you on the track to get that. You can go online and look on Facebook, and you can find it. Ladies and gentlemen, be a part of Booster Club, because you need to be a part of it. You need to support the team, the program, the entire athletic here at West Lawrence High School, and it'll be here before we know it, Coach. It'll be kickoff time, man. I cannot wait. Maybe it'll cool off a little bit for us by the time we get there, but who knows?
I hope so.
Who knows? You take it as it comes.
That's right, yes, sir.
But thanks for talking with us. We wish you best of luck the rest
Enjoy
of the summer. We'll be back in a few weeks to check back in with you, and you stay tuned to TV 35.